What are London's famous historic ships? The KDC, HMS Belfast. That's it, isn't it? I can't think of any others. Well, I'm sure the gentleman sitting opposite me can. They are David Kampfner and John Patton, Project Director and Heritage Consultant on the SS Robin Trust. Who's she? Well, let's find out. Welcome both of you to BBC London, gentlemen.
Thanks, Robert.
It's very kind.
I don't know who to begin with, but where is the SS Robin?
She's at Canary Wharf in West India Quay, right underneath the DLR station, and sits in the dock, has done for about 16 years.
Unless you go to that part of the world, which I don't, my life just doesn't take me there, you probably wouldn't know it's there, would you?
No, it has been forgotten and neglected. We call it London's most forgotten ship. It's as important on the same list as KDC and Belfast. It's actually one of only 3 of these Grade 1 listed ships.
Tell me a bit about the history of it. What's its story?
It was built in 1890. It's London's most important London-built ship in the sense that it was built in Bow and has been a coal carrier all of its life.
I was going to say, what was its function? Was this a naval ship?
It was a great big merchant ship that took coal around the coasts, as trucks would do in the 20th century. It was an early Victorian merchant navy ship and took coal and whatever other goods would pay its way.
Is it a good-looking lady?
She's a beautiful ship. She's a beautiful ship. She was originally launched in sail, but unfortunately that is no longer the case, but we'd like to put her back.
So what was it? It was a steamship then, I guess?
Yeah,
right.
And she's got lovely lines.
Has she?
She really looks the part. And, of course, she's got this massive hold in her, so one of our ideas is to use this hold for educational-type activities, which we think is the way forward for historic ships.
So how has it got to the situation where it's been sitting over there in Canary Wharf for 16 years, going largely unnoticed? What led it there?
She's been unloved.
Who's it owned by?
It's owned by the SS Robin Trust, which we set up 6 years ago. It was previously owned by an illustrious group called the Maritime Trust, who had a lot of historic ships but didn't have a lot of money. It was basically put there in 91 before, of course, anybody thought that Canary Wharf would be prime real estate. It was moved out of St Catherine's Dock when that was regenerated and left, basically, and mothballed.
And so, what does it do now?
It's now an education centre. We've spent about 6 years running a restoration project.
How did you get involved? Are you just enthusiasts?
They just bought it.
John's the enthusiast. I'm a photographer.
Right.
I got involved 6 years ago because we were looking for an education space to teach kids with pictures.
Right.
And we were looking for somewhere that floated because we thought that would be a good idea. And we came across Robin, which was...
I would have thought in terms of keeping the camera steady, there's easier places. But
there's easier places to run an education centre, that's for sure. No, the idea was to have an imagination centre that would inspire kids and get them excited and take them out of school and do something different. And that's what we've been doing for the last 6 years.
And, of course, you know, the Maritime Trust held quite a few ships, but it was running out of money fast. And it was before the Heritage Lottery Fund was on the scene, really. So that's when the idea came of trying to get another purpose for it.
So what do you want to happen? What's the ideal scenario?
We've just completed a £3 million bid to Heritage Lottery Fund, and we're crossing our fingers. We'll hear about that in a month. That's taken us about 4 years to put together, and without that funding, basically, the ship probably doesn't have a future.
And with that money, we can sort of refurbish it. It's leaking a bit like a sieve, actually, because it's so old.
Leaking from the top, I should add.
I was going to say, if it were leaking from
the bottom.
If it was leaking from the bottom, I'd rush back.
She's seen better days, that's for sure. And I mean, we've got a great team of volunteers who come on board every day. They've been going for about 5 years. We have teams from companies that come down too. And they just put on overalls and get busy. We're all from all sorts of different walks of life.
Is it worth saving, if you see what I mean?
Oh, I think so. I really think so. I mean, we're an island people, aren't we?
Sure.
So ships do mean something to us.
Yeah, but you can't keep every old boat.
No, you can't. So you've got to be quite careful about the ones you keep. And the great thing about Robin was when she was built in London, she was built well. So there's a lot of original Robin still there, and we can save all that.
What, in terms of fixtures and all of that stuff?
Fixtures and in terms of hull. You know,
right.
It's a solid hull. So we hope it's got another 20, 30, 40, 50 years life, actually.
I mean, on this list, this core collection list that the National Maritime Museum drew up, she's basically the Grade 1 listed
really?
London-built ship.
Yeah.
So there are no others like her.
What's she made of?
Steel.
Right, so she's a steel hull, and I still haven't got a sense of the scale of it. I mean, I'm a landlubber, so don't use nautical terms.
Well, 50 metres, 150 feet.
Even I can roughly understand that.
Yeah.
So compared to something like the Belfast, which I've been on quite recently,
a lot smaller than Belfast.
Right. Okay.
But still a sizable ship for her day, and a very high-tech piece of engineering for her day. She was basically the reason that sail declined and died. The steamships took over from sail. and extremely high tech when they were built.
And of course she's a merchant ship, so she's got this big hold that you can use. I think historic ships to survive have got to be able to move on. They've got to be able to do other stuff.
How can people find out more about it? Is there a website and
There's
stuff,
a
or
website.
can people come along and see it?
You can book up for the guided tours on the website, which is ssrobin.org.
Right.
And you can certainly have a role to play by volunteering.
Volunteering to do what? What do you do?
Volunteering to get down with our conservation team and put the paint on the
Really?
steel. Yeah, we have a very active volunteering program that goes on all day, every day. And you can sign up for that from the website.
And watch the space. You know, we're desperately waiting for this Heritage Lottery Fund bid to come through.
Give us the website address again.
It's www.ssrobin.org.
And if people just want to come and look at it rather than come on board...
If you want to come look at it, there's a map on the website. There's lots of video on the website, but it's right underneath the West India Quay DLR station, which, if you're not familiar with Canary Wharf and Docklands, is right next to Canary Wharf.
And it's the SS Robin, and may all who don't yet sail on her because she stays still do well, or whatever one would say if we're a nautical soul.
Cross your fingers for us for March. That's when we'll know about our funding.
Splice the mainsail and all that.
Full steam ahead.
Cross your marlinspike.
Exactly. Gentlemen, thank you very, very
Thank you,
much,
Robert.
and good luck to you.